Beautiful morning here at Horizon Hills, Johor. Welcome back to a new vlog where today we're out in Horizon Hills, Johor Bahru. Johor Bahru is a different state, so from where I am it takes about 4 hours to get here, and it's the closest state from Malaysia to Singapore. So we made a little drive out here today, and let's see how we navigate this golf course. It has been a couple years since I've been here, and I've only played here once, and I don't recall many of the holes, but let's try to do our best out here. Let's get started with this par 4 hole 1. So if you're able to carry those bunkers off the tee on the left side of the fairway, you have a pretty short approach shot from there. As you can see here, I only have 95 meters or 105 yards. The pin is in front today, so I know I'm going to have to pretty much carry this at least 100 yards at minimum. The only obstacle for today's pin position is going to be that bunker in front, but obviously if you have enough club, which you should have more than enough since it's a front pin, that shouldn't be something of concern. If anything, you definitely want to favor going over this pin, front pin, first hole of the day, play it smart. Always nice to have a positive start, and a little bonus on the first hole there to go 1 under after 1. So let's move on to the second hole, which is a par 5. So after a confident start there, I decided to go with a driver on this hole. It is, as you can tell, it's a dogleg left. It's a par 5, so obviously you can't see the hole from here. There's also a drain running through the fairway, which means that my target is actually the skinny Y tree out there. And I originally went with a driver because, like I said, off to a good confident start, and I thought that a driver would be a good shot. But then as I was over the ball, I was thinking, is this too aggressive of a play for the second hole? And I wasn't sure what's on the left side. As you can tell from the tee box here, it doesn't look like there's much space at all. And when you have thoughts in your head that are not helpful right before you hit a shot, this is the result. That's an example of what you should not do. Go for a driver to cross a water hazard on the second hole of your round when you don't know the golf course. So here you have a clearer view of the water hazard that I was talking about, and my ball went straight into the middle of the water hazard. So too many thoughts right before I hit that shot. Was that the wrong club selection? It was actually a very easy carry for me with the driver, so if I was committed to the shot over here, obviously now I can tell that there is a lot more room left than it looked like off the tee. If I had more confidence over the target that I'd chosen, I probably wouldn't say that it's a bad club selection, because this hole can be pretty long if you do lay up before the water hazard. However, you do need to make sure that you're committed to the shot, because if you're not, going in this water hazard obviously is going to cost you big. From behind the water hazard as well is more than 300 yards to get to the green. It's also playing uphill, so most likely if you're in that water hazard, it's going to be 4 on at its best. So like I said, was that the wrong club selection of the tee? Most probably not, but it was probably the wrong target selection, and that led to me having to be in this situation right here, trying to go 4 on the green after hitting the water hazard off the first. So we live and we learn, but let's see what happens after this. Par would obviously be a bonus, but a bogey wouldn't be a bad score after hitting it in the water hazard off the tee. So next we move on to the next hole, which is a par 3 playing 148 yards.
The pin is tucked right today, but as you can see, there are bunkers surrounding this entire green, and it's a bit of a slopey green as well. My target here was actually just to go for the pin because my shot shape is usually a draw, so I felt that the pin was a good target for me, and if I played a draw, it would just go towards the center of the green. So a bit of a push of the tee there left me here a little bit short-sighted. I have not hit a chip yet, so I did not really know how this green was going to be reacting, if there was going to be any spin at all. So I was in between going with the 58 and the 54 degree wedge here. I decided to go with the 58 degree wedge just because I felt like I did not have much room to work with. And like I said, it was early in the morning, it was 7 a.m, so I don't know if the 54 was going to roll out or if it was going to stop pretty quickly, so I decided to go with the 58 degree here. Hole 4 is a par 4 playing 323 yards, so not a very long hole. It's a dogleg right hole with water hazard down the right side and 2 bunkers down the left side. So my target on this hole was towards the right side of that lone tree there. And the reason why is because if I aim towards the left side, I would probably run out into those bunkers. So it was between going with a through wood, aiming towards those bunkers, or going with the drive and being a bit more aggressive. So after the tee shot, actually had a little bit of a tricky shot here, 85 yards to a front pin. Distance control was going to be important here because there is a bunker short and there's a bunker over as well. So I had to aim this pretty much to land it pin high because I didn't want to get too close to that front bunker. And from there, I didn't know what the ball was going to do, but just hit a good shot and hope for the best. So the greens are playing a bit firm, even with my 58 degree wedge there, didn't get much spin, but I carried it pin high and left myself with this putt for birdie. So just a par there, but let's move on to the next hole, which is another par 4. So they have very well placed bunkers on this golf course. There's bunkers down the middle of the fairway that you can see. This was a bit of a dogleg left. So if you can't carry those bunkers, it's going to be a pretty long hole, I would say, because you would have to aim it pretty far right, which is going to definitely lengthen the hole. For me, my target was kind of over the right side of that tree there. I was going to be able to carry that bunker. It's about 228 yards. But with the wet conditions in the morning, obviously you do want to be a bit more conservative, so I was aiming it a little bit more left of the bunker just to be safe. And after the tee shot, I had 121 yards to today's pin. So this green is a big sloping right to left green. It's quite a substantial slope that I don't think they can actually put anything down the right side of this green. So if you do play this golf course, and I don't know if you can tell, but the ball is also a bit above my feet, which is going to tend to make you draw the ball a bit more. So on this hole, you definitely would want to favor the right side of this green because it will lead the ball towards the left side of the green. So you don't have to play too aggressively towards the pin, just let the green do the work for you.
Okay, that's on.
So next up we have hole 6, which is a par 5. So this hole was kind of interesting because from when I shot with my rangefinder, I could reach those right bunkers, but I couldn't carry it, whereas I could carry the left bunkers. So my target here was just kind of to go towards almost like the center right of that left bunker, and I didn't know what was past those bunkers, but I figured it would be pretty safe if I did that. So I think you can tell that I did not hit a good shot there. It drew more than I wanted to, and I didn't really make that good contact with it, but I think I'm pretty lucky that that happened, because if not, I would most definitely be in the left side there in the rubbish. So my ball ended up being safe somehow, because probably because I hit bad enough of a shot. So over here, just trying to get myself back in play.
Okay, good shot. Center.
So from where I was, left myself in a good position here, just center fairway. And to be honest, I don't know if I might have accidentally shot a tree behind, but I shot 95 yards, so I am hitting my 54-degree wedge here. I was planning on hitting a controlled 54-degree, which was going to be right around 90 yards. And yeah, I don't really know what happened, but I ended up flying the green, which is not a position that you want to be in on this hole, because it is pretty much an impossible chip from back here. So not quite sure how that hole ended up in a bogey, but I guess after the tee shot, maybe it was meant to be. So let's move on to the next hole, which is hole 7, a par 4. This is a pretty long par 4, another dog leg right here. So for this hole, the target is just to carry that center bunker there. So if you're a draw player, this tee shot is not very easy, because it does kind of, those trees on the right side does kind of get in your way. I mean, I knew that I was going to be able to carry them, but they're still in your visual lines, so you do just have to try to commit to your target, which is going to be that bunker, and just swing at it. So obviously it was not my intention to leave myself this far off. I did kind of hit a bit of a pull, and that's why the ball went further than I expected it to go. So definitely just trying to lag this close here, focusing on speed, get myself as close to the hole as I possibly can. And next up we have hole 8, which is a par 3, a beautiful semi-island par 3 here, playing 140 yards. So you can clearly tell which part of the green you do not want to mess with, which is going to be the left side of the green. The pin is pretty central today, got a lot of room right to work with, and as you guys know, I play a draw, so just aiming it out towards the bunker there and letting my draw naturally take it towards the hole. And if it doesn't draw and if it hits straight, still be giving myself a good look at a pretty decent birdie putt. Focus here is distance control and keeping myself on the green. And for the last hole of this front 9, we have a dogleg left par 4 uphill. Again, another interesting one with very smart bunker placements. So there's a bunker down the left side which I could reach. So I figured I would aim it down towards the right side of the fairway. Of course, thinking that I would hit my little draw and leave myself in the center of the fairway. So as you can see here, my ball did not end up where I thought it was going to be. Not an ideal spot here. Trees overhanging, and I do not know why there is a massive tractor in my way right in front of the pin position. So I also only had 125 yards, and I know that I needed something that was going to go beneath this tree but enough to carry the bunker, which I felt like it was going to be impossible to stop the ball. So my target here was just towards the left side there, trying to play left of the bunker and just try to give myself a chip up and hopefully get it up and down from somewhere left. So I did what I set out to do, but it again took a massive bounce left. Somehow I stayed clear of that small bush there, so still have a chip, but it is very difficult. It is downhill, down grain. I knew that if I gave myself a 10-foot uphill putt for par, that would be the best that I could do.
So on the front 9, we ended up 1 over. I feel like it was course management issues, especially because I bogeyed 2 par 5s. Obviously not knowing what's out there, and like on the second par 5, not knowing that over the pin was basically dead. So on this 9, let's try to get a few back and finish the run a couple under.
Shot. Okay, center.
So we ended up center fairway here with 115 to go. There's always a bit of a balance when it comes to firm greens, because obviously when you have some kind of wedge in your hand, you don't want to play too conservatively, because also a wedge tends to spin more. But if you're playing too aggressively on firm greens and you know that they're not going to catch, you're going to end up being over a lot of times. So over here, I'm trying to hit my kind of half pitching wedge, which I know is going to go right around 115. But I always find it better to take the longer club, swing it softly, rather than taking the shorter club and trying to be too aggressive with it. Hole 11, a par 4, again, no surprise with the strategic bunkers. So we're going to aim this towards the left of those bunkers. We have enough to carry it, kind of almost towards that palm tree down the left side, but probably on the right side of that, because you don't want to be too aggressive with it. Depending on your shot shape, always choose a shot that feels comfortable to you. So we finally got one back there, which was nice. And next up we have a par 3 playing 167 yards. So not an easy hole here, pin located behind the bunker. Like I said, pretty firm green. So we do want to make sure that we carry it pretty close to pin high because we don't want to play with that front bunker. But we know that with the firm greens and hitting a longer club, we most likely won't be able to stop it very fast. So I'm hitting 6-iron here and just making good contact, and again, just hit the ball and see when it ends up. So par on a par 3, not bad about that. Let's move on to the next hole, which is a par 5. So you can see lots of bunkers out there. I honestly did not really know where I should be hitting it because it seems like there was a bunker in every single direction no matter where you hit it. So my target was to go towards the center bunker, kind of where the people are out there, and that was where I was trying to go. So surprise surprise, with the amount of bunkers out there, I ended up in one. And you can see this is not, I don't know if you can consider this a bunker. It is pretty much concrete. I did not really know what I should be doing here. I was trying to play the safer shot with an 8-iron, but honestly, after looking at it again, probably should have just hit something like a pitching wedge because the lip is pretty high and I was not going to get much bounce out of this, which meant that the ball was not going to have very much height. So obviously we didn't progress the ball very far, but as you can see, I've only got 238, and that's why I was saying I could have just hit some kind of wedge to get this at least a bit further, and from there I could still have gone for the green. So, but with all that being said, I've left myself in this position, so there's nothing much we can do here except to just try to get this as close to the green as possible and do our best from there. So pretty obviously, if I come back here again, what I need to do is re-evaluate my plan for all the par 5s because I'm doing a very bad job in my par 5s. But next up we have hole 14, pretty long hole. As you can see, it suddenly started to rain. Welcome to Malaysia. And yeah, this hole is just bombs away, nothing much out there.
Good shot.
And we've reached our second shot where the sun has come out again. So this is definitely what you experience when you play in Malaysia, and it's something to take note of because the grass will be wet and dry consistently throughout your round if this is the weather that you're playing with. But anyway, this hole, the second shot is definitely the tricky part because you're most likely going to have a downhill lie because as you can see, this hole past the hill up there, it's all downhill. So you're going to have a downhill lie. You're going to go over a water hazard, and it's a front pin today, so not an easy shot at all.
Whoa.
So I left myself a little bit short. I was expecting a bit of a run up because of the downhill lie that I had, but it was not a bad position to be honest. Again, the rain has started. So yeah, most of you guys made jokes about how the Australian weather is bad. Malaysia is just the same. But anyway, here's the chip shot that I had. I was going with my 54-degree wedge here, just trying to play a little bit of a runner. And as you can see, I just hit the wrong spot. I don't know what that spot is called, but you know when you kind of hit that spot in between the apron and the green, and it's the one spot that you don't want to land the ball on. But yeah, left myself with a very long par putt. So next up we have hole 16, which is a pretty interesting par 4. It's playing 282 yards. When I shot the pin it was about 295. So I would say that unless you can go for this green, you probably want to just hit a club that you're comfortable with, that you're going to get a full club into this green, because it is a bit slopey. However, today, because that bunker that is in front of the green, it's like 50 yards from the green, but it's actually ground under repair, so it's not in play. So if I hit it there, I actually get to take a drop. So because of that, you can be pretty aggressive, just aim towards that bunker, and I mean, if it gets to the green, it gets to the green. If it gets to the bunker, you get a drop anyway. So although obviously this isn't a conventional way to play this hole, for today it is. So spoiler alert, I did end up in the bunker, so I'm just taking a drop from the GUR and playing it from here. For the rest of the vlog, I think I'm just going to leave it to you guys to enjoy it, because you will see very soon, but it is pretty entertaining to say the least.
Oh no, the rain's coming.
Hey, nice on. Yes. Good deal.